So when you think of Nicki Minaj, just know she's a winner. She's winning. She's winning.
Not long ago, it seemed like the tension between Wendy Williams and Nicki Minaj was finally a thing of the past. The drama that once had fans talking appeared to have cooled down completely, with Wendy even going as far as publicly praising Nicki and recognizing her as a true icon in the industry. It looked like both sides had moved on, leaving behind the conflict and stepping into a space of mutual respect, something many never expected to see.
Why Megan got Grammys before Nicki is because Nicki is a mean person.
She's mad at that Megan got 3 and has only been out for a minute. Well, Megan earned them. You know how she earned them? By maybe being kind to the people around.
So now there's fresh buzz making rounds. Did Nicki Minaj really suggest that Wendy Williams' own son, Kevin Jr., was the one who betrayed her? Surprisingly, that claim isn't entirely made up, but the real question is, why is Nicki bringing this back into the spotlight now? It's definitely raising eyebrows. And yes, it's a little confusing, but let's unpack it. For anyone wondering why Nicki would even mention Wendy or her family again, you have to remember, this isn't random. Their history is anything but peaceful. Back in the day, Nicki was a frequent topic on Wendy's Hot Topics segment, and not always in the most flattering light. There's been tension brewing for years, and just when you thought it couldn't get messy, Wendy also inserted herself into Nicki's ongoing clash with Megan Thee Stallion. She didn't hold back either. Wendy openly sided with Megan, even suggesting that the reason Megan snagged Grammys before Nicki was due to Nicki's attitude, labeling her as mean. That comment alone added fuel to an already burning fire, making it clear this drama runs deeper than most people realize. And if you think the tension between Wendy Williams and Nicki Minaj just started recently, think again. This drama has been simmering for years. Wendy didn't just comment on Nicki once or twice. She repeatedly took shots at her during multiple controversies. From weighing in during Nicki's clash with Remy Ma to criticizing her creative choices, Wendy never held back. She mocked Nicki's music video with Future, labeled her as washed up, and even went as far as dragging her appearance, calling her work desperate and tasteless while making remarks about her plastic surgery. But out of everything Wendy said over the years, one moment pushed Nicki over the edge. Things escalated when Wendy brought Nicki's husband, Kenneth Petty, into the conversation on her show. Wendy didn't just criticize, she launched a full-on attack, accusing Nicki of damaging her own brand and future by marrying him. She implied that being associated with him would permanently hurt Nicki's public image and chances of success, even referencing his past in a way that shocked others. That was the breaking point. Nicki didn't stay silent. On her platform, Queen Radio, she fired back with intensity, calling Wendy out for what she described as deeply rooted bitterness and cruelty. Instead of just defending herself, Nicki turned the spotlight onto Wendy's personal life, especially her highly publicized split from Kevin Hunter. She accused Wendy of masking her own pain by tearing others down, suggesting that the negativity came from unresolved hurt. Nicki even addressed rumors surrounding Kevin's alleged infidelity and the reports of him having a child with another woman, using it to highlight what she saw as hypocrisy in Wendy's criticism. Nicki's response was more than just a clapback. It was a full emotional outpour. She questioned why people are judged forever for their past and argued that growth and change should be possible. At the same time, she didn't hold back, repeatedly labeling Wendy's behavior as vicious and harmful while also saying she would pray for her. It was a mix of anger, frustration, and personal reflection that made the whole situation even more intense. And just when things couldn't get any messier, a new layer of controversy emerged. Suddenly, there were claims circulating that Nicki hinted Wendy's own son, Kevin Hunter Jr., played a role in her downfall. As shocking as that sounds, it's not entirely baseless. Wendy herself revealed in the documentary with TMZ that her financial troubles and eventual conservatorship began after her son allegedly made large withdrawals from her account without her knowledge. These transactions were flagged by Wells Fargo, which led to her assets being frozen and legal control being put in place. According to Wendy, her son crossed serious boundaries by using her money without informing her. While she acknowledged that he's not a bad person overall, she admitted that his actions during that period deeply hurt her. She also hinted that outside influences may have played a role, claiming that other individuals were around him and possibly benefiting from the situation, even spending time in her Miami apartment. The financial details only made things more shocking. Wendy recounted instances of extreme spending. What was supposed to be a modest birthday celebration reportedly turned into a six-figure expense, with a boat rental skyrocketing far beyond its original budget. There were also claims of massive spending on food deliveries and lavish celebrations, raising even more questions about how things spiraled so quickly. At this point, the situation feels less like celebrity gossip and more like a complicated web of personal conflict, betrayal, and unresolved history. And with Nicki's name being pulled back into it, it's clear the story is far from over. But here's where things take an even more shocking turn. According to Wendy Williams herself, her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., wasn't acting alone. She strongly suggested that outside influences were involved, hinting that he may have been encouraged or even manipulated into misusing her money. And it doesn't stop there. Wendy revealed that a woman, around her age, allegedly tried to impersonate her over the phone in an attempt to access even more of her finances. That's when Wells Fargo stepped in, flagged the suspicious activity, and shut everything down before the situation spiraled further. Wendy even credited the bank for preventing what could have been a complete financial disaster. This entire ordeal reportedly created a deep fracture between Wendy and her son. And if you remember, the tension didn't stay private for long. Wendy's brother, Tommy Williams, publicly called her out, accusing her of distancing herself from the family. He specifically mentioned a painful moment where Kevin Jr. traveled all the way to New York to spend time with his mother on her birthday, only to be denied entry into her own penthouse. At the time, it left many confused. Why would a mother shut the door on her only son? Now, with everything that's come to light, that moment starts to make a lot more sense. Reports suggest that Kevin Jr.'s actions played a key role in the chain of events that ultimately led to Wendy being placed under conservatorship. And not long after, consequences began to catch up with him. In 2022, he was evicted from his luxury Miami apartment, valued at around $2 million, and hit with a lawsuit over tens of thousands of dollars in unpaid rent. The twist: Wendy had been covering those expenses, but due to her legal and health situation, that financial support suddenly stopped. Kevin Jr. later appeared in court, explaining that he was no longer receiving money from his mother and that he had stepped away from school while also trying to care for her. But the situation didn't improve. Just weeks after Wendy attended his graduation, he reportedly faced yet another eviction notice, this time over a smaller, but still significant, unpaid amount, with a strict deadline to either pay up or leave. Despite all the chaos, one thing remains clear: Wendy's love for her son hasn't completely disappeared. During a candid interview on the podcast hosted by Harvey Levin and Mark Garagos, she spoke with surprising warmth about the idea of seeing Kevin again. In fact, she shared plans to travel to Miami for her father's 94th birthday and hinted that she'd be open to reconnecting with her son if the opportunity came. Still, when it comes to who she holds responsible for her current situation, Wendy pointed the finger elsewhere, specifically at the judge and her court-appointed guardian. She made it clear that she feels misunderstood and controlled, insisting that these individuals don't represent her life, her identity, or her decisions. More than anything, she expressed a strong desire to regain control of her finances and freedom, stating that after years under guardianship, she's ready to take her life back. Now, adding even more fuel to the fire, rumors are swirling that Nicki Minaj has been revisiting all of this drama. Allegedly, Nicki has been hinting that Kevin Jr. sold Wendy out, while also pointing out the irony, claiming Wendy once criticized her marriage, only to face her own personal downfall tied to family issues. Whether there's more happening behind the scenes or not, one thing is certain: this story is layered, emotional, and far from finished. But now the question is in your hands. Do you think Kevin Jr. is truly responsible for where Wendy is today? Or is there more to the story than what we're being told?